Namaste. This is the episode 13th episode of Thought Seeds. Getting very cold here. Need fire. But no fire anywhere. Don't know what to say. As usual, you know. Reading a lot about the history of yoga in India, and it's so fascinating. And it's more interesting is that we completely disregard whatever wisdom was out there. And people have really studied even like breathing, how do you breathe, the elements, the muscles involved, all of that. Very depth, you know. We gave it all up in the allure of the modern knowledge. Modern knowledge which is just nothing more than a set of guesses. Look at pregnancy, you know. Like so much was known about pregnancy, delivering a baby naturally. But in our quest for partially because of our desires and partially because of the conditioning, have to rely on this new, because that knowledge was decimated, right? Because if somebody wants to sell their process as knowledge, they have to decimate what have been already there. Brainwashing, right? And then women give birth to a baby using operation, using some kind of chemicals. Like science is, whatever they call it in the name of the science, that so irresponsible in a way. Like they do something and after 10-15 years then they say, oh, this is the side effects, now we have to learn and we have to do it this way. Although when they started doing it, they marketed it as like they have found something which is magical, you know. It's the quest of the human being to find something magical by their own ego, by their rational expertise of the mind. And the entire generations are just feeling the brunt of this. But nobody cares as long as everybody is doing it, because that seems to be the principle. As long as everybody is doing it, why go after something else, you know? Confirmation of the society is better than your confirmation, or the real confirmation which is just there. Inherently there is no path for human beings. They are living in borrowed time as of now. And when this time will be over, I don't think anyone is even capable of telling. Because science always thinks in linear ways, like, okay, the resources has been depleted at this rate and we are this, so at this rate, you know, they we have for 50 more years. It doesn't work like that. Life is never linear. The system designs are meant, they try to make it linear, even in like your job. Okay, this much a year you progress there, then you progress there. But do you intellectually feel like that is how it works? Sometimes you learn a lot of stuff in just 1 month, and then you're stagnant for 2 years. It never works in a like perfect linear curve. It always works like up and down, up and down. We have completely, the only thing that is given to us, our body, right? And to get something outside, which was fine, because it's required, the food is required, all of this. But in order to get it more and more and more and more, we just sold all of it. We sold our bodies also. And when then you get into it, then you are in a cycle, you cannot get out of it. It's like you sell your health to get more money, and that more money will be utilized because now you're ill health. So the more money will be taken from you, so that either you can sleep at night, or you get out of your mental health problems, or your sugar problems, or your whatever cancer problems. You're deliberately producing a sicker newer generation, so that they are more and more dependent on the system than they are self-reliant. Like a person who takes care of their body and is physically self-reliant is a very bad thing for the health industry, And a person who is mentally self-reliant, that is bad for every industry, because that person will be content. It's like trying to find it outwards is so heavily biased against trying to find the happiness inwards. Because if you find it inwards, then nobody can take it from you. You are not in debt to anyone. Nobody can say that I gave it to you, because it's yours, and it's always yours. But then how will anyone will sell you anything? This game only works because there are poor people, basically. There are people who are actually fighting for the basic things, and they are made to fight for it, So that's the thing. The earth is always here. It belongs to nobody. Yet, when someone is born, they say, oh, you are only restricted in this part. Why? Because that's the system we have been following for so much time. So it's done by human. It's not done by God or anything from outside. We have created this system. When I see the ancient, like the knowledge of yoga, not only that they completely took care of every aspect of life, like the health, even people went and researched about senses also. So every aspect of the life was fully researched. But it is only researched not from the point of view of an object you are selling, but as a possibility of your experience. Like even sex, not as something to be attained, which happens most of the time. But as a possibility, like our body can do this, how can you maximize its efficiency? How can you do it in a more sustainable manner? You're not consumed by it, right? Like this very simple concept, which might feel very alienated today, because that's where we are, right? Like we never question science when they say, there are aliens, we will be this generation, we will set up on moon. Then we're like, yeah, it is possible. But whenever somebody says that, okay, you can get outside your body, or you can have an experience where you can leave your body and in the form of energy, just in form of the energy, you can travel outside. Then people are like, oh, how can this be possible? this this thing about proof, it's any is just kind of like a thing created by devil in a way. Because even if you see like the moon landing or something, it can be very easily faked, and it looks very fake because if you do that after 60 years, you don't do anything. Do you think those people are not greedy? Like the Americans are the most greedy people on this world. Don't you think if they have already gone there, they will try to go and like take the resources from there? They would. They have the ever expansionist attitude in life. They want to have more and more and more. Why didn't they? Doesn't make sense. But just because you regard your senses as a proof, and then anybody can trick your senses. And how AI has come, so this tricking of senses can be done more and more. I might be an AI just speaking. People are doing this now. This is really happening, which I discussed in the previous video. Like if I ask AI to create a 20 minutes spiritual podcast episode by using my imagery, it will do it. It will take a photograph, and then it will animate it, and the words will come out of my mouth just like I have said it. Proof of senses is essentially the proof of mind. Nothing else. But the mind is just like images, nothing else. It's just like a story. Everybody today is so fast in giving explanations and giving you absolute answers. Oh, I am the one. I know it all. I will tell you how it is. Is there anybody in this life who can just sit with you and say like, okay, how do you feel? What have you gathered? And let's see if there are some holes in it. Let's see if there's something which doesn't make sense in it, and go from there. Nobody does it. Nobody is interested in doing that. That's the point. Even if it doesn't work perfectly, or it's like, it's fine. Who cares? I'm sharing it right now. I'm sharing it. If I've read something, I'm sharing it. It's like I've read something. It's not something that I have done. Like the day I will able to take out my soul and wander into the world, then I will share it like that. Like, yeah, I can do it. Till then, that is also like some possibility. Somebody has said that it is possible. It's fine. Just like science. Science says all the time, it's possible. Yeah, I will take over the world. It's possible we will be human, robot, or whatever. Like that also you take it, right? You're like, yeah, okay. So why are you not open to all possibilities like that? Every possibility. That's what I really feel like doing. Like that's like very interesting. And Krishna learned this like from his guru. I think it was take a lot of effort, which in my body I don't think it's like that ever. Seriously, because we have completely fucked all the time. At least like from my experience, even if people take care of their body, they just want to take care of the muscles and like build look good and all of that. Nobody taught you to be healthy from the inside. Like your liver should be healthy, your stomach should be healthy, your heart should be healthy, your breathing should be in the right way. There are yogis with proof who just stop their heart. I mean, don't you find it interesting? I mean, like, fuck. And I don't think it's like one. There are so many people who have done it. Like, how is it possible? In like my real experience, I have reached to the point where I felt like I can do it, but I was scared. I was like, what if I stop it and it doesn't beat again? So after that, I never felt that experience again. Fear stops you from the possibilities, from just blindly going on the possibilities. Only fear stops you because fear wants to create a step way to it. It's like a staircase to it. It stops you from just jumping onto it. You're like, yo, it is possible, let's try, let's jump. But then you're like, what if she's not there? Why don't we just take next step and the next step and the next step and then see it is possible or not? You know, what's the difficult part is, even if people see it, it is possible, they can't do it themselves because it takes a lot of discipline in your own life. It takes a way of living which you won't live because you think like this is the only life and I should gain as much material possessions, material senses as possible. I should taste as much food as possible. I should have like as much sex as possible. I should have as much fantasy or consume as much content as possible. So we'll never do it. And when that happens, even if somebody who's doing it, not only that you won't accept it, because it can never be your reality. So you try to put it down. Because obviously you want to say that your reality is better. That's how ego works, right? You always want to say that your way of life, or the way you have lived, is better than what someone else suggests you to live. So a scientist can never verify being a yogi unless he becomes a yogi. But then he won't be a scientist. That's the contradiction, you know. To become a yogi, you have to do so much work. I mean, mentally you have to live. Like, even if physically you keep doing the same work, mentally you have to be detached from it. Which is such an alien concept. Like, we cannot be detached and work in our time. Which is actually it's not that difficult. Like, you can be detached and you can still do the work very nicely. I can be a person who is not committed to the company, but I can still be the person who can make the most money for the company. You know, like loyalty doesn't mean that that person will be the most beneficial for you, the company, but because we want certainty, we don't want to acknowledge other people as volatile or moving pieces. We think like we are the only moving piece and everybody else should be static. They should be fixed in their positions because that only way I can move on top of it. science is essentially a way of thinking now, which is dominating the way of thinking by proof. Although every proof, without you actually experiencing is, every proof is just imagination. It's just based on a theory. Like this carbon dating technique of how old something is based on a theory. Like the carbon decays at this rate, and then if you just put it backwards, then it must have been this much years old, you know. That's a theory. That's not your real experience. It's based on imagination. Who decide what constitutes as a proof? Nothing but a small, like, society in a way, which puts together like, this is the proof, this is not the proof, this is how it should happen, this is how not it should happen. Can we alter the framework of science itself? Can I as a simple person alter the framework of the science? No. Unless I become a scientist, which means if I become one of them, then it is possible. Then how can you change? I mean, if you become one of them, then it means there can be no improvement. Then you have to follow the same structure. Change has to happen from outside. All right. Yes, used to fighting for 2-day holiday, 3-day holiday, this hours of working, this not hours of working, and all of that. Because we also enjoy the certainty and the comfort of it. Well, everybody knows that life is not certain. Even that also they captured it in terms of insurance. It's like, yeah, if anything happens to you, you'll do this. Like, insurance doesn't stop it from happening. You do know that, right? Like, people are ready to nitpick anything that you say, and then just like everybody is just ready to put you down in a way. That's how the system works. Most of even the content that we see these days is just reactions. Whether I approve or hit. So, and when you see those videos, it's like foreigners approving of Indian culture. Oh, like, yeah, man, so good. Ah, my ego is felt now. A white man has approved me. Oh, God, my life is successful now. Like, what the is that? Do you care? Like, if truth is the truth, then why do you care if somebody approves it or not? Now my white master has approved it. People who don't know anything, but they react. Like, how would you react on any knowledge which takes like years of practice? You'll just react on based on how it is presented or what intellectually makes sense to you, or you just believe in it. Both of them are wrong. All of them are wrong. if only we were living in a world which is actually rational. Illusion of rationality is not rationality. If you are completely rational, then you'll be like Krishnamurti, completely individual, completely, not the fake individual of the Western societies. Say they are individual, but then they use all of the system, right? How are you individual? Individual means just be individual, like protect yourself, do everything yourself. That is individual. Why are you reliant on the common knowledge of anyone? You use the common knowledge. Even when you are doing agriculture, you are using the common knowledge that has been like earned through ages and ages. But you are individual, no? Most people don't even care actually. They just like talk, and so much talk that even the real stuff is just buried in it. It's like burying like the music in the noise. Like somebody is playing music and other people start playing real random stuff. So much that you cannot even hear the music. And that's the attitude of our time. Because you can't produce the music, you don't want anybody else to do it also. Okay, so that's all for this one. See you guys in the next episode. Bye bye.